Hi everyone, welcome to another Hatton's live stream where we show you some of the best models that are available or coming soon in the UK model railway scene today. And it's a bit of an Engage special this morning. We've had so much great Engage news come through during October that I thought it was a perfect time to do a roundup and just show you what you might have missed coming through for past or present modelers in Engage. So I've got 4 updates for you this morning. The top 4 ones I think are the really big news from October. So if you have any questions regarding anything I'm covering this morning's stream, please do put them in the chat and I'll answer them throughout the show. But otherwise, sit back and relax and let's take a look at what's coming through in Engage. And I think we have to start with the big one, don't we? It's big in the fact it's a full set. It's big in the fact it's not been released for over 10 years now, but it's making a triumphant return to the market, and it's certainly got a lot of people excited. I'm talking about Dapol's model of the Class 221 Super Voyager. This was originally introduced by Dapol in the mid-2000s and has become quite sought after by collectors out there. They weren't really made available in a lot of liveries or a lot of variations at the time. So they were quite a rare model when they were first introduced, but even more so in the 13 or 14 years since they were originally released, they have become more sought after, and especially with the story of the Super Voyagers carrying on in real life, the time was right to launch some new liveries. So we've got 4 of those available to pre-order right now, and I'll tell you the truth, they are selling really, really well. So if you do want one of these modern multiple units for your layout, do check that link in the description where there is more information. The models themselves have a really good spec too. You've got a 6-pin digital socket in there, including space for a digital sound decoder and speaker, should you wish to put one in. You've got fully working directional lighting. You've got the magnetic coupling system that you can just about see between the different cars there too. You've got detailed interior, you have a full underframe detail and bogies also. So you've got a lot of detail going on there for the money. And I think that Dapol have really captured the shape of this unit quite well. It is quite a unusual and iconic streamlined shape at the front there, but this has got to be one of the best Voyager models on the market. And they're quite hard to come by at the moment too. Whatever scale you model in particular, if you do want one of these units for your layout, they're pretty tricky to get hold of. So it might certainly tempt you through into Engage because they can be seen pretty much all over the UK from the early 2000s onwards, starting with Virgin Cross Country and Virgin West Coast. And some of those original liveries are coming back in this next release, but there's also a couple of new liveries coming through too, which are being released on this model for the first time. We see a return of the original Virgin West Coast livery and, of course, the Cross Country livery that we see here, which can still be seen today and has been able to be seen for about 10 years. But for the first time, we see the final Virgin Trains livery of these units, the Flowing Silk livery as it's known, carried for a number of years in the late 2010s. And bringing it right up to date, they're also producing the current Avanti West Coast livery, as we see it here, being put onto these units in real life. So you'll be able to create a Super Voyager on your layout for any era between their introduction and their current day usage. So it's really worth a look at those 4 liveries that are coming through. The price is $191.25. That's for the full set. And that is digital ready as well. If you do want to fit it with digital, it's just one 6-pin decoder that you can put in there. So really easy fit. The body should just clip off with absolutely no issues. So a really good model to see coming back to the range. It's certainly got a lot of Engage modelers already excited and just really good to have it back, especially for you modern image modelers out there. If we're talking about models coming back to the range, we've got a few more bits of excitement from Dapol too. This time for you earlier steam era modelers, as we see a return to service for the Fruit D Wagons in 4 different liveries. I've chosen 2 of the BR colour schemes to show you here, the BR Maroon and the later BR Blue, as carried in the 1960s and 1970s. But they are also bringing these models back through in the Great Western colour schemes for you 1930s and 1940s modelers. So they're coming in at £14.41. You can see there that they've got a great amount of detail on them with the separately moulded doors and quite a lot of the brake gear on the underframes. You've got full NEM couplings there also, so fantastic for shunting if you've got a small Great Western branch line, or maybe a larger depot heading into the BR era to fit one of these in. And they did last surprisingly long, actually, with them being such an old-looking wagon, shall we say. Not a lot of people know that they did survive into the 1980s, so you really can make an excuse for one of these if you are a bit more of an up-to-date modeler, especially at the price they're coming in at. But if you are firmly set in the 1980s, you still need some freight stock. There is something for you. And again, I think a lot of people are excited about this one. You wouldn't quite think it, but Dapol's Dogfish Wagons have become collector's models in their own right. Similar to the Voyager we mentioned before, they've not been available for quite a few years now. So they're going for quite a lot of money on various different auction sites, we'll say that. But for those of you who know your engineers trains, you do need really long rates of these vehicles. They operated in rates of 20, 25. In some cases, you did see them in smaller rates too, so you can get a smaller locomotive and just a couple of wagons to work. But if you're building a big collection, for the last few years, it's been really tough to do that in Engage. But no longer, no more, because they are coming back into the range. And we're expecting these towards the end of winter. So we're looking February, March 2021. You can see that they're covered in the 4 main liveries carried by the Dogfish Wagons throughout their lives, from the early colour schemes of the 1950s, the black and the olive green. On the top right, you've got the later grey colour scheme from the 70s and 80s. And then the familiar, what they call the Civil Engineers Dutch on the bottom left there, ideal for you, 80s, 90s, and even some of you early 2000 modelers too. This is perfect for you. And I know a lot of you have already been saying that you're really glad to see the Dogfish back on, and especially at such an amazing price of £15.21. You can really afford to build up some of those rakes for not really a lot of money at all, especially looking at the detail on the wagon there. These are the latest decorated samples, which Dapol have let us have a look at. You can see the 8 vehicles that they're releasing there. As they are decorated samples, you'll notice that the wheels are missing, but they will come fully fitted to the standard release, as will NEM couplings and the various details that you do see on the wagons there, including the handrails, all the decorated images and the printing too. So something really to look forward to there. And as mentioned, these have not been available for quite some time now. So a lot of you are really anticipating these. And just as the Voyagers, they are selling very well indeed. We'll make sure to get lots of them to meet the demand. But if you do want them, we do really recommend that you pre-order them. If you click that link in the description, there's more information there. So let's talk about something that we've got on our shelves right now as well. I've given you so many things to look forward to in the early part of 2021. Here's something you can pick up right now. And it's this brand new release of the Gagemaster Collections track cleaning wagon. This is a model that's derived from the Tomitech version, and it is one of the first releases in the UK for this particular vehicle. It's very similar to the 00 gauge version made by Dapol that some of you may be familiar with. It's got full NEM couplings and a set of bogies on there. And this is powered by the track. It has a vacuum underneath it that will suck any debris off your layouts. If you have any bits of fluff, any issues there on your layout, this will have absolutely no issues cleaning that off for you. You've also got a clean set of cleaning pads on there. And they also just give a little bit of an abrasive touch to the top of your tracks to really make it keep clean. And again, just making sure your track is absolutely spick and span. You can just see some of those abrasive heads that do come with the pack there, as well as the protector for the vacuum. And then you can just lift the top off, put that over a bin and empty the various items that you may pick up on your layout. So a really useful bit of kit there for you Engage modelers. It's always a bit of a chore cleaning track. I certainly know on my layout. And if you can make it a little bit more fun, it really is. It just changes it, really. It does make it a lot more fun to do. And Gagemaster Collections have made this as incorporated it into the UK railway scene as much as possible, shall we say. You see it here in its network rail livery. It is quite unlike a lot of vehicles that run on the UK railway network, although there is a small fleet of what they call railway vacuum vehicles. So It is a little bit inspired by real life as well. You can find similar vehicles in full size. They don't quite work in the same way, but this is certainly inspired by those. And they have produced it in the full network rail livery, so it will be absolutely ideal to run alongside your modern locomotives, maybe as part of an engineering train, or indeed with some of the Mark 1 and Mark 2 coaches, you can form a test train, or even just running it with a network rail liveried locomotive would look fine too, replicating the various different trains that run up and down the country cleaning the UK railway network. So as I mentioned, these are available right now. You can pick these up off our shelves. Again, I've put a link in the description for you, should you wish to find out a little bit more information. They are £68 and you get everything you need in there as well. You don't need any additional batteries. You don't need any add-on pieces. It's all in the box. All you need to do is take it out, fix some of the abrasive heads and put it on your track. And there is a full set of instructions in there too for you to be able to do that. So again, something a little unusual, but I really like the fact that Gagemaster Collections have taken the time and effort to put this in as appropriate livery as they can. It certainly looks like a network rail test vehicle, even down to the point where they've given it its own data panel with a running number and some various different information on there, and also incorporating the including your railway branding. So do take a look at that if you do find cleaning your layout is a bit of a chore, as it really does add an element of fun to it. So those are my favourite 4 roundups of N-Gage. Well, that certainly isn't all we've had. If you click our news page, if you head over there, there's even more to see for N-Gage releases at the moment. It's looking like a fantastic autumn, winter and early spring for N-Gage modelers, with the track cleaning wagons available, different models of the Virgin Super Voyager and other liveries coming through there too, a return for the Fruit D Wagons and the Dogfish Wagons, and also more HSTs coming through from the likes of Dapple and Gagemaster Collections, various other models getting updates, including the Class 59 from Dapple, which is on its way through. We're expecting to hear more about the Bullied Pacific shortly as well, further liveries for the Class 50s. N-Gage modelers have got it fantastic at the moment. It's just so, I really struggled to pull it down to top 4, really. I could have said a top 40, I'm certainly sure. So do check out that link below. I've put a link straight to our news page where you'll find all the latest information on our N-Gage releases. Make sure to sign up to our N-Gage newsletter as well, because you'll find out all the bargains there, all the great new N-Gage models that are coming through from the likes of Dapple and Gagemaster Collection and others. But otherwise, I hope you've enjoyed today's video. If there is something I missed, if you think something else is one of our top updates on N-Gage, do let us know in the comments, as I'm always interested to hear what you guys think. Otherwise, stay tuned for more videos. We're producing more all the time, so make sure to like and subscribe our YouTube channel, or like our Facebook page for more videos like this. Otherwise, I'll let you have one last look through those images. They are all available on our website too, and I'll see you next time. Take care. Goodbye.